Guys, welcome back. This is the deep group of the posterior crural compartment. We have a deep group and a superficial group we are going to learn about. So let's do this. We have tibialis posterior. Now you guys remember tibialis anterior. That's that muscle that's right in front of your, or right lateral to the shin that you need to work on if people have shin splints. This one is right behind the tibia. It's the deepest muscle to the posterior crus, and it can also affect shin splints. Basically, the idea with this muscle is to get to this muscle, you'd have to really dig deep. But this muscle does have a lot of issues I've found with a lot of my clientele because no one ever touches it. And it actually does quite a bit of movement with your ankle, specifically inversion, and then plantar flexion, which everyone uses. Everyone says, okay, like when they're doing their crus exercises or their, the lower leg exercise. You see people like they do their like stair stepper or whatever. They don't realize what they're doing. They're actually working these deeper muscles, and they're trying to get the superficial muscles to look good, but they're actually like really beating up these muscles, and no one ever touches them. So very sensitive, but you got to get in there and get them. It's the deepest. So remember how deep, if you can basically get underneath everything else, you're going to be hitting this muscle. This one is flexor digitorum longus, flexes the digits, and it's long. So there you go. Broke that down. And it's the medial muscle of the deep group. You can see that there. And then over here we have flexor hallucis longus. This is the lateral muscle of the deep group. So meaning that it's more lateral. The other one was the most medial, right? So maybe I should call it by name. The flexor digitorum longus is the medial one. This one is lateral. So depending on where you are on the body, if you're more lateral or medial, you could be touching either of these muscles. These ones are easier to get to than the tibialis posterior though. So tibialis digitorum hallucis. I think I was just writing Tom, Dick, Harry, Tom, Dick, Hall. I don't know. To remember that this muscle specifically. On my test, I haven't changed it, but in the future, I am going to require these muscles actually as part of the test to list all of the muscles. So I might change it. I haven't really made the decision yet, but you guys are good enough, I feel like, to know these muscles. And even if I don't test you guys on it, I think it would be good to memorize because people have issues with this part of their legs. The next one is your popliteus muscle. It's the floor of the popliteal space. The popliteal space is the space right behind your knee. If you haven't noticed, these are posterior views. The popliteal space is right behind the knee. It makes that V shape on the posterior knee. Well, it makes half of the V shape. This muscle does. So it actually helps rotate the femur and helps unlock the knee. So this muscle is also very, very important. Don't skip it. Now jumping over into the superficial group, we have basic muscles here. We have what is classified as the triceps surae muscles, which means combined soleus and gastrocnemius. Why they combine them is because they share the same tendon. But we're going to break them down. Soleus is just beneath your gastrocnemius. The soleus muscle attaches to the calcaneus, which is the heel bone, via the Achilles tendon. And everyone knows about the Achilles tendons, right? Basically, we all know this does plantar flexion because when you raise your legs up, or like you do calf raises or whatever, this muscle really feels it. And people, they don't really know about this muscle too much because everyone's more focused on this bottom muscle, the gastroc or the gastrocnemius. It's two-headed, has lateral and medial heads. It helps create that V shape at the top of your knee, right? But basically with this muscle, because it crosses your knee and your ankle, it does plantar flexion and knee flexion. This muscle here is what people go for. They try to get that juicy shape in their calves, but they don't realize they're affecting all the other deep muscles of this area, and that's why I say people need help with this area. So we have one more muscle that we're going to talk about here, and this is the plantaris. Why do you think? Because it looks like a plant, right? Shares the same attachment site. It's basically, it just runs up and it helps with knee flexion and plantar flexion. Very small muscle, probably more for stabilizing the knee, if anything, because you'd need that connection down to the ankle to just give this area a little bit of rigid structure. But yeah, it is sandwiched between gastroc and the soleus. So you guys will learn a little bit more about those muscles in sports massage. I don't know if we have sports massage at the school, but you might have a class where you learn about stretching and stuff, and that's definitely where you're going to learn about stretching these muscles. Really important stuff. I hope you remember these muscles. They're good to know, just because people that I work on, they don't know about these muscles, and if you can share a little bit of your information with your clients, they are going to love you even more. So there's that. I hope you enjoy these videos, and see you next time.